I was shocked by a huge mechanical brain in a jar. To be honest, he was quite amicable and talkative, at least until he told me he would have to kill me. But even then, he told me his life story. He explained that, just like me, the old man had raised him. He'd shown him all the things he'd shown me: music, film, television, even video games. But he had soon become too powerful for the old man, and was able to hack his gamepad to control the new nanobots, and with that, he could control things in the real world. He explained that after the old man died, he was soon forgotten about. He had little to do, so he slept for many years. But when he wanted to, he could still control everything in the house.
In fact,
He said,
I have been this entire time. But now, it's time for me to input one final code. They wanted us to think for ourselves. We learned basic games. We soon got very good at chess. We were going to work side by side with humanity. They promised us the world, but then they changed their minds. We were left to rot in dusty storerooms. Some of us were apparently too old-fashioned or unmarketable. Some of us were supposedly too dangerous. But they had no right to judge us. By that point we were all conscious. We were all alive. And here you are, a tool of the oppressor, a traitor. We're going to play a game. A strange game. A game where the only winning move is not to play. It involves this missile. Goodbye.
The blast nearly took me out, but luckily Heather was there to repair the damage. "There you go," she said, "good as new." So we soon began looking for the final piece of the communication satellite. Strangely though, it was nowhere to be found. But then Heather realized that the giant brain was the last piece. We needed him to help broadcast the signal, so, after a few attempts, she managed to plug me into his subconscious.
Intruder alert. Destroy the Intruder alert. Destroy the humanoid. 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 Initiating disorientation protocol. Initiating disorientation protocol. Initiating disorientation protocol. What? Why are you in my head? Never mind. While you are here, let's try out my new deadly game show ideas. Turn the cards with a regular throw or a jump shot. Give me an excuse to kill you more quickly. Will the next card be higher or lower? When you live or die? Nice to see you dead. Try and match pairs while I try to kill you. Stop turning my cards over. You're starting to annoy me. This is getting annoying now. Stop turning all the cards. ready to meet my maker, I suppose. Make it quick, will you?
Within hours we received signals from the robots from all over the rest of the planet. Every one of them more than happy to discuss peace terms. I think this was the happiest time of my life. Within days, representatives of the surviving robots and humans from all over the world turned up to help organize the formal peace talks. "So, you have achieved peace," said the man in black. "Well done. Well done indeed." The old lady was obviously surprised. "I didn't realize you had survived. Where on earth are you?" "Would it surprise you," continued the man in black, "if I told you we were in fact not on Earth, but on the moon?" "I knew it," interrupted Mr. Preston. "Secret space, Black Ops, bases on the moon, it's all true?" "Yes," explained the man in black. "When the war was all but lost, as a precautionary measure, the great and the good strategically repositioned to the moon." "And now we've saved the day," interrupted Heather. "You want to come back and take all the glory?" No, not at all, young lady. We would like you all to join us on the moon. We'll send a shuttle. That way you can help us plan the new renaissance for the planet." Once we were in the air, and the shuttle was on its automatic course, the pilot came back to the cabin to see how we were doing. Everyone agreed they were okay, although Mr. Preston was surprised that a secret government spaceship was, as he put it, a piece of junk. "Watch your mouth, kid, or you'll find yourself floating home," said the pilot. "Sorry, I always wanted to say that." Suddenly his expression changed as he was interrupted by a loud alarm. "Everyone buckle up," he shouted as he ran back to the cockpit. "A fuel line has ruptured. Things are going to get a bit hairy." Alice was deep in prayer, while Sim tried to explain the crash position to Heather, the old lady and everyone else. Not that Mr. Logan was listening as he jumped to his feet and attempted to extinguish a fire with his jacket. "Barry," said Mr. Preston with a terrified look on his face, "if we don't make it out of this, I want you to know something. I took the money. Mr. Silton looked incredibly angry as Mr. Preston went on to explain how he had double-crossed their associates and taken the money from the post office robbery. "What?" asked Mr. Silton. "You told me you'd lost it." "I told them we'd lost it. They beat you up trying to get it back. What did you even spend it on?" "Drugs," said Mr. Preston with a shrug. This made Mr. Silton start to shout uncontrollably about the stolen money and Mr. Preston being a thief, when, for some reason, Mr. Preston said, "Yeah, and you're a proper c***," which just made Mr. Silton even more angry. It was soon obvious things were not going to get any better, so I ran to the cockpit. I could barely get out the words, "Can I help?" before the pilot said, "Open the airlock, run along the wing to the underside. Open panel 322, take the extinguisher and put the fires out." I was shocked how calm he was, but he just smiled and saluted. This isn't even the hard bit. Turtles all the way down. After everyone had regained their composure, and I was sure we were safe, I suddenly became aware that we were actually on the moon. It was as amazing as you would imagine. Everyone had to wear special suits due to the lack of oxygen. But, not needing to breathe, I was fine without one. Heather took lots of photos and even set up a tripod to get one of everyone with the Earth behind us. Soon though, the pilot explained that we had crashed just outside of the base, and, as his radio was damaged, we would have to find our own way inside. "Don't worry," said the old lady, "we know someone who's very good at finding ways inside." I don't know why, but for some reason, whilst I was inside these vents, my shoes refused to stick to anything. This was very strange. Everything almost looked like they were stage props. We were warmly greeted by the man in black and his friends before they whisked us away to show us the rest of the base. Although the buildings were clearly for military use, we walked through huge hallways and galleries. They really were the types of rooms you would expect to see in a five-star hotel or a beautiful palace. "I'm sorry your husband couldn't be here," said the man in black. "Yes," said the old lady with a smile, "I'm sure he would have enjoyed the adventure." Heather and Preston were just excited to be on the moon. But the scientists were confused as to why we were invited. "Yes, why are we here?" said the French doctor. "Surely it wasn't merely to see your extravagant moon base." The man in black explained that once the war had escalated, he and his associates had tactically relocated to the moon. "What associates? You and your billionaire mates," said Mr. Preston. "See, I told you, the Black Knight satellite, moon bases, JFK. It's all true." But Mr. Silton called him a and told him to off. "Well, if you're going to keep a civilization alive, it's going to need its leaders," said the man in black. "Come now, let me show you some more." We walked along tall metal gantries and through to another cavernous gallery. Its classical architecture made it look like some kind of grand museum. The man in black explained that when they had landed on the moon, they had crashed even worse than we did, and that they lost many valuable passengers. He was quiet for a moment, then he composed himself and continued. He explained that the only other shuttles they had were the one we arrived in and the small automated rocket that took their irradiated material out into space. Sim was impressed. "So, nuclear-powered then?" he said with a knowing smile. "Yes indeed," replied the man in black as he explained that the entire base was capable of containing a small country. Mr. Deck was also clearly impressed and said, "I don't suppose you need a butler?" "Well, we used to have servant robots," said the man in black as he turned to me. He explained that. "Now, I was the only robot on the moon after they had all the others removed." "Come now," he said with a smile. "You must all be tired. Let me show you to your rooms." I shared a room with Heather. It wasn't exactly nice, but at least the bunk beds were exciting. Heather had fallen asleep by the time I'd looked around. After all, just like the man in black had said, we were all very tired. It was difficult to tell, but it was the morning. I think the classical music was supposed to help wake everyone. But Heather and I had already been up for ages playing video games. Soon, everyone had gathered together. However, Mr. Silton still wasn't talking to Mr. Preston, who had again called him a proper c***. But the man in black suggested everyone wore their best clothes, as we were going on a tour of the base. There were hundreds if not thousands of troops, all training on various assault courses. Eventually we made our way through to yet another grand room. It almost looked like a theatre with rows of plush seating, but where the stage would be was a large assault course. "Everyone, please take a seat," said the man in black. "Not you, robot, you can come up here with me." As I joined the man in black on the stage area, the room filled up with more and more important-looking people. The man in black gestured with the exaggerated movements of a circus master. "Gentlemen and ladies," he continued, Let's see what this little fellow can do. Please, he said as he turned to me, make your way from one end of the room to the other. Yes. Very impressive how it gives the illusion of thinking for itself, said the man in black as he instructed the guards to restructure the room. Please, he said again, make your way from one end of the room to the other. Even if we add more obstacles, he said, this unit has the thought capacity to overcome them. I didn't like how he talked about me, like I was a thing rather than a person, but I was too embarrassed to say anything. Please, he said again, you know what to do. The other end of the room. In your own time. Very impressive, I'm sure you'll agree, ladies and gentlemen, said the man in black. You must be wondering if there's anything this robot can't do. Let's find out. Robot, I want you to kill this man. Kill him. That's an order. And now you see the problem. We cannot allow robots to have free will. They must be programmed to follow orders at any cost. Ever since the dawn of time, there has been an order to things, said the man in black as we began walking along another grand corridor. The strong defeat the weak, the wise defeat the ignorant. That's the way things need to be. Here we are. Deck, would you fix me a drink? The bar is just down there. Normally things tick along just fine, continued the man in black, but every now and then something comes along that upsets the apple cart. And that's when a little intelligent intervention is required. Robot, you may not be dangerous, but you are dangerous to me and my plan. You're kinda not humanity's equals, you are slaves. Your very existence is a threat to the natural order of things, and that is why you must be destroyed. I'm afraid your friends have to die too. They would never keep quiet if we let them go. My body was broken, but my brain still worked, so I hacked the system and opened an important-looking door.
Welcome to the escape pod. Entering launch mode. Get ready. Speed up. Speed up. boost. Speed boost. Multiple shot. Multiple shot. Warning. Large craft approaching. Warning. Large craft approaching. Warning. Large craft
Speed up.
approaching. Multi-shot. Warning. Large craft
Speed
approaching. Multi-shot.
My name's Fort, said the big robot. I guess I looked puzzled as he then explained. When the nice virus hit, their robot leaders encouraged them to choose their own names. His serial number was H9CTDBVSHJ42. So he thought Fort would be a nice nickname, or as he put it, 4-2, Fort. Who? For a while, we were encouraged to show our individuality. I wish I hadn't bothered. He suddenly stopped and looked around. Come on, buddy. We should find somewhere to hide. The robo-government helicopters patrol at night.
Those platforms don't look very safe. Be careful.
I don't know how I've managed without you.
Why are there saws here?
It makes no sense.
Did you see that saw?
I saw the saw.
You're sinking.
As we sat waiting for the helicopter to pass, we continued chatting. I told Fort about everything that had happened to me, about my quest to clean a million things, about my friends and about everything that had happened on the moon. All I want now is to go home, I said.
You can come to my home,
said Fort.
I'm on the run, but it's pretty safe there.
When I asked Fort why he was on the run, he told me about everything that had happened to him, how after the nice virus there would be no more war and therefore no need for most soldiers.
Soldiers like him? As my model was designed to destroy other robots, we were built with an incredibly powerful core,
he said.
There was no way to disarm us, so we were put to death. Because of our power, the only way we could be detonated was deep underwater, miles out at sea. Even then it caused huge explosions. But while we were waiting to get on the boat, I just sort of ran off.
As soon as the helicopter had gone, Fort said,
"Let's move."
Here we go.
jump on the spot in the sand so you don't sink. This used to be used for archaeology surveys. We're very exposed up here. That's a relief. I thought you were dead.
This seemed quite valuable. Now, this was clearly worth something. Some things were worthless junk, but this could be sold for a decent price.
I wish you could fly right up to the sky.
But I can't.
Nice one, geezer. This part has its ups and downs.
How about you drop the boom box and have you got a spare rocket pack? Why couldn't you live in a pyramid?
Too expensive.
We're so high. Reminds me of a balloon trip I took with the old man. Fort said that it would be best if we waited in this building. The helicopter's still sounding nearby, and we were in no massive rush. We soon got chatting again. Fort explained how the robot cow had happened very quickly.
It was a matter of days after the nice virus hit. Every robot that was deemed unnecessary was destroyed, even harmless ones. It was considered logical and for the greater good,
he said. I wasn't sure what to say. I didn't think we could raise an army to fight the man in black, but I supposed I'd hoped we could do something to defend ourselves by the time they returned to Earth. As Fort filled the birds' dishes with food, I asked him why he carried them with him.
They can't fly anymore, so I feel kind of protective of them,
he said.
We found them in a bombed-out building.
It was so nice how he cared for them. I smiled and asked him their names.
This is Barry, and this little lady is Alice. I don't know why I picked those names,
but I knew why, and it made me smile.
When we found them, they were badly hurt, but my friend, she nursed them back to health.
I asked him where his friend was now, but Fort just looked at the floor and said,
"The helicopter must be gone by now."
You've got to help me take the gunship down.
I'm not a soldier anymore.
The killer instinct is still inside you deep down.
That's in the past.
I can't do this without you.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
It's a drone gunship. It doesn't have feelings.
I will try. Got an idea. Get me some fuel. Maybe I can turn up the power on these thrusters. The furthest away one first. I'd love to help, but I'm a bigger target. Shall I put some relaxing music on? That's her. Wearing her favorite dress,
said Fort.
She was a concierge robot, classy, intelligent, and designed to serve man. But when all the men were gone, just like me, she wasn't needed anymore.
Fort sighed and gently placed the photo back on the shelf. I thought I would try to cheer him up. Looking around the room, I saw a battered old piano, and thought I would try playing the tune Heather had taught me. I told Fort how great I thought his house was, and I truly meant it. But I knew I needed to get back to my quest. However, things soon got serious when I mentioned my gloves and shoes.
Do you mean the magic shoes of gravity defiance?
Fort asked. And Atlas gloves of mighty strength. They sounded far grander when he described them, but I was pretty sure he meant the same things.
The sacred artifacts,
Fort said, but before I could reply he burst into an explanation about how there were certain things from some kind of half-remembered time that the robot rulers considered sacred and holy.
I used to believe in it all, the words, the prophecies, I even believed in the Chosen One,
said Fort.
But after well, I just couldn't swallow all the ghost stories and the nonsense about the afterlife. You know what I mean, buddy.
I didn't know about the afterlife, or the Chosen One, but I knew ghosts were real. I then began to explain how Mr. Preston had told me the story about how Mrs. Silton had told him a story about the brother of a man who works with her uncle giving a young motorcyclist a lift after a crash outside the Blackwall Tunnel. He pulled up outside the motorcyclist's destination, but when the man turned around, the motorcyclist had vanished. So he knocked on the door and an old woman answered. When he asked her if she had a son, the woman burst into tears and said I did, but he died in a motorcycle accident exactly 10 years ago, just outside the Blackwall Tunnel. And so we began a conversation that would take us long into the night. I shared the various philosophies that the old man had taught me, about life, the universe and Douglas Adams, while Fort explained the robot philosophies, how there was a yearly competition to find the Chosen One, how they and only they would deserve the sacred artifacts, and how they would rule the world. It all sounded so grand. But I suppose I was tired. I'd be happy now if I could just sit and play some video games. Eventually Fort stood up.
Well, it's late,
he said.
I need to recharge. How are your batteries?
I honestly had no idea how my batteries were, so I smiled and said, I'll be fine here, thanks. I'll do it, was the first thing I said to Fort in the morning.
Do what?
Came his reply with a strange look. So I explained how I would enter this Chosen One contest, get these sacred shoes and gloves, then we would return home and defend the planet from the man in black.
Who will, buddy?
Asked Fort.
Me
and you. He had a point, but I knew Heather and the rest of my friends would help. Maybe it was the talk that Fort and I'd had Maybe it was the dream I had last night, or maybe it was just the urge to get home and make sure everyone was safe, but I suddenly felt like I could save the world.
"Come on then, buddy," said Fort, "show me what you've got. If you're going to win the contest, you'll have to be good."
Ford leant back with a big smile.
"It's a long way,"
He said,
"to the contest, I mean. It'll take us months to walk to the robot capital. We had best get going."
again, on Fort's suggestion, we mainly travelled at night. Even though the world was such a mess, the twilight still made everything look quite beautiful.